Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and click the bell so you guys can get notifications of when I upload. This is gonna be story time of how I knew I was pregnant before I took a test. So my last period was around June 8th, and my periods are so regular, like when I like 2 years, no, I got on birth control when I was like 14 because my periods were super heavy, like, and I would get them like every single like 2 weeks. Like I had it like twice a month and I was on my period like all the fucking time. So I got on birth control when I was like 14, and then so I was on it for a while, and up until like 2 years ago I got off of it because I just, like, when I got into the medical, found out like a lot of stuff about birth control, so I just didn't want to put that extra stress on my body. And I was just like, okay, if I get pregnant, I get pregnant. Like obviously God planned it, but I never got pregnant. And so I got off like 2 years ago, and then I got with my boyfriend that I'm with right now. I've been with him for a year, but we were off and on. And recently we were just like, okay, we're not gonna do this no more. Like, we're gonna be together. Like, we're not gonna do this off and on stuff, like nothing. So I was like, okay, whatever. And we moved in together probably around April, I think. It was before I graduated. We moved in like April something, and we lived with my cousin though. And then like a month later, I moved in with him at his house. I don't remember, something like that. So then I moved in with him, whatever, and we were kind of like just like whatever, like not paying attention to anything. We were kind of just doing our own thing, like just living life to the fullest pretty much. And so I got my period June 8th, and like I said, my periods are super regular. Like, I always get my periods, like I never miss them, nothing. And I'm the type of person, like, I don't get, like, I get cramps like a week before, like, so I know it's gonna come like a week before. And usually I crave chocolate, like chocolate or like greasy stuff. Like, I know it sounds so bad, but I crave it like so bad. 2 weeks after my period, like around 20th or something, like I was cramping like really bad, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, why am I cramping? Like, my period's not till July 8th, you know? So I'm just like, what the heck? And then I was like, I think I was like super bloated like around July 1st. I was like stupid bloated. Like, I like felt nasty. Like, I didn't even want to take pictures. Like, I was just like, like, no, like, I don't feel confident. And usually I get around that around my period. So I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I knew, like, down deep in my heart I was pregnant, but I was like, okay, I don't want to believe it because, you know, no girl wants to believe it because they're like, I'm super young, you know. So I was like, okay, I don't want to believe it, like, whatever, like, I'm not. And then I just like was like, Destiny, like, you are, like, I don't know why you're trying to deny it, but I was just like, okay. So I told my boyfriend, like, I thought I was, and he's like, yeah, okay, like, you know, whatever, because I was telling him like the symptoms I was having. Like, I was super bloated, and like I just didn't feel myself, and he was just like, yeah, okay, like, whatever, Destiny. And I was just like, okay, like, he's right, maybe, whatever, you know. So I was just like putting it off, and then I was just like I just felt nasty. Like, even 4th of July, like 4th of July came, and I didn't want to drink. Like, I just knew not to drink. And I was that person, like, I love to drink. Like, if you know me, I love to drink. Like, that is no secret. And like 4th of July, I was just like, no, like, I don't want to drink. And my boyfriend was like, no, don't drink. Like, especially if you think you are, you know. So I was like, oh, whatever, I won't drink. And then all my aunts were like, Destiny, you're not drinking. I'm like, I know. They're like, why? And I was like, oh, just cause like I have to drive home, like you guys are drinking, you know, so I'm not gonna drink. And my tia was like, I'll drive home. And I was just like, no, it's okay, I'll drive home. And they were just like, okay, whatever. So that was my excuse the whole night. Oh, like, I'm driving home, like, I don't want to drink. And so like my boyfriend would just look at me like, yeah, you better not pick up that cut. So whatever, 4th of July passed. I think a day or two after 4th of July, my boobs were so swollen, like stupid swollen. Like, I've never had my boobs ever feel like this in my life. Like, they just felt like 100 pounds on my chest. And every time I would walk like one little step, I would be like, oh my god, like they hurt so bad. Like I didn't even want to touch him. Like my boyfriend would like be fucking with me, and he'll just like accidentally hit me, and I'll be like, oh my god, like that shit hurt. Like don't hit me like that. And he was just like, oh my god, like shut up. And I was just like, okay, whatever. Like never not say nothing to him no more. And so I just like kept it to myself, like what I was feeling. And I just had like mean old headaches. Like I get headaches, like don't get me wrong, I get headaches, but not like this. Like it like was just like right here in my temples, like just like somebody was like drilling like screws into my head. I was just like I didn't want to be in no light. I was so crabby. Like any little thing that my boyfriend said, I was just like, get the fuck away from me. Like just get away. Don't even talk to me. Like get away from me. And it was hot too, so like that just added to that. So I was just like, whatever. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's because my period, like, you know, whatever. But I wasn't craving nothing. Like, usually, like I said, usually I crave, like, chocolate or greasy food or something, like, of that nature. No, I did not crave nothing. And I was like, okay, I'm supposed to get my period, like, July, like, okay, July 8th, like, okay, you know, it's coming. Like, why am I not getting symptoms that I usually get when I'm about to get my period? So I was like, whatever. And then I think it was July 6th. I went with my cousin, which is gonna be my baby's Nina's girlfriend. I went with her, and I went to, cause she had to go pick up a check or something, and it was like the day was super hot, like super hot, and I was dying. Like my face was so red. Like I've never seen my face get that red before. And she was like, why does your face look like that? And I was like, I don't know. Like I don't know what's wrong with me. Like I don't know why my face looks like this. And she was just like, your face is so red, like you're pregnant. And I was just like, shut up, like, you know, just joking around, like, you know, shut up, like, no. And she was like, Destiny, you're pregnant. And I was like, no, I'm not, like, stop, like, no, I'm not. And like she was like, yes, you are. I was like, whatever. I was like, watch, my period's gonna come. And she's like, no, it's not. And she kept telling me, take a test. And I was like, no, like, it's gonna come. Like, I don't want to take it, because what if it is positive? I'm gonna be shitting bricks, and I'm gonna be scared as fuck. Like, no. But the whole time, I kind of told her, like, I thought I was anyways. And so she, like, kind of figured. But then towards the end, when my period was supposed to come, I was like, oh my god, my stomach. I feel nauseous. She, sorry. I felt nauseous, but, I thought I was gonna throw up. She was like, you are? And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, shut up, girl, no, I'm not. And then she was like, just take a test. And I was like, kind of just like booed off or whatever. And then July 7th, I think it was Saturday, like, I just did not feel good. Like, I was just like, leave me alone, don't talk to me, like, just leave me alone. And I think the next day, when I was supposed to get my period, usually this TMI, but usually I would get like brown discharge, like, you know, brown discharge you usually get before your period. Usually I get that, and I usually get my period in the morning, like in the morning, as soon as I wake up type shit. So I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna get it like on my birthday, because I was when I was supposed to get it. I didn't get no brown discharge, like nothing, no cravings, nothing. So I was like, okay, maybe my cycle's changing, because my boyfriend had sisters. So I was like, okay, maybe it's changing again, because every time I would go around them, it would always fuck up. So I was like, okay, maybe like it's just messing with my stomach or whatever. And then I think, but let alone I was already living there for a while, so I don't know why I thought that. And so July 8th came, and I didn't get it, but my nipples were like crazy sore. Like, if you barely like touched it with a feather, that shit would hurt. Like, they were crazy hurting. Still to the day, my boobs are like super swollen. Like, they hurt so bad. But whatever, it's just my period, Destiny. Like, stop being paranoid. And I was like, okay, I'll get it tomorrow. Like, my period didn't come July 8th at all. Like, nothing. So I was like, okay, I'll get it tomorrow. Like, it'll come tomorrow. Like, not even tripping about it. And then it didn't come July 9th either. And I was like, okay, it'll come July 10th. And I was like, okay, whatever. July 10th, nothing. And I was just like, every time I would go to the restroom, like, I would think I was gonna see blood. Like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see blood, like, when I go to the restroom. Nope. July 10th, same thing, nothing. And I was already telling my boyfriend, like, babe, my boobs look huge. Like, I have little bitty, like, I'm little bitty titty committee. Like, I'm not gonna front, like, I got big boobs. No, I do not. And I told my boyfriend, look at my boobs. And he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they did get bigger. And I was like, I told you, you don't listen to me. He was like, well, it's just because you're always talking about it, so I'm like not paying attention. I was like, so he finally like agreed with me that my boobs are bigger. So I was just thinking like, Destiny, you're pregnant, like your period hasn't came. So the third day I was like, okay, I'm gonna make an appointment for Friday to go to the doctor's, whatever. So I think it was Thursday, like I put, because I have a Finsta, which is like an account you just post pictures and you talk about whatever. So I posted it and I was talking about it, like, okay, I'm gonna get my period in 3 days, like something's up, like I have an appointment Friday, but I cannot wait, like I need to know like if I am or not. So everybody was like, the only way you can know is you take a pregnancy test. Like, you're probably missed your period because, like, a lot of my friends were saying I probably missed my period because I was stressing. And I was like, I'm not stressing. Like, I'm not. Like, I'm happy. Like, me and my boyfriend are fine. Like, I'm not stressing. Like, I'm good. And they were like, well, I don't know. Like, it's probably something. Like, it's probably not because you're pregnant or whatever. Like, they were kind of, like, trying to just tell me. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then July 11th, I think it was July 11th. I went to the store with my grandma. My boyfriend stayed home sleeping. And I went to the store and I didn't want to tell my grandma that I was gonna buy a test. Like, I like no, I'm not gonna tell her. So I had told her I went to the Dollar Tree because I wanted to buy eyeliner. So I went to the store with her and I went to the Dollar Tree and I got 2 tests. And then I came home and I was just sitting there like, should I take it? Should I not? Like what should I do? So I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna take it, like, while my boyfriend's asleep. This is like 8 o'clock in the morning. So I sit there and I took one. I didn't want to take the other one because I was like, I don't want to take 2 and like it'd be negative, you know, waste pregnancy test. So I took one, let alone I was like Googling all these symptoms and it was like telling me like, bitch, you're pregnant, like you're pregnant. So I was like, okay, like I just kept Googling everything, like any little thing I had wrong with me, I was Googling it, like, and it was pretty much telling me like every little thing was like, you're pregnant, you're pregnant, you're pregnant. And I was like, so just take a test. So that's when I was like, sorry, my face is itchy. So went to the restroom, peed on a stick, and at first the line didn't pop up, it was just one, and I was like, okay, I'm not pregnant, like I'm not pregnant. And then I was like putting on my pants, doing whatever I gotta do, and I turned and looked at it again and there was a line and I was like, no, this can't be real, like I'm not, like no, I'm not. So I looked again and I was like, oh my god, like it's getting darker, like no. I was like, oh my god. And I was just looking at it and I was so in shock, like I was just like no. And I just kept looking at it like I'm fucking pregnant. Like, how the fuck am I gonna tell my boyfriend? And so I grabbed the test and I literally, like, I put on my Finsta, like, yep, I'm pregnant. Like, this makes sense now. And, so I went to the room and I woke up my boyfriend. You know what this fool did? Okay, so I was like, babe, wake up. Like, I got something to tell you. And he looked at me like, what? And I was just like, guess what? And he was like, what? And he was like half asleep. And when he's half asleep, do not talk to him. He was like, no, I was like, guess what? And he was like, what? And I was like, I gotta show you something. And he was like, what? And I was like, there's 2 lines. And he's like, he smiled. And I was like, ew. And he just like turns around and just goes back to sleep. I was like, nigga. Like, he had no care in the world. He's like, okay, go back to sleep. So I was just like up by myself, like, I'm really fucking pregnant. Like, and this nigga just is like going to sleep, like, really. So I'm like thinking, like, how the fuck am I gonna tell my family? Like, I'm so young, like I just graduated high school, like what the fuck are they gonna think? Like, They're gonna be like, bitch, you were only gone for like how long? So I was like, okay, whatever. So I texted my sister and I told her, and I was like, look, there's a blind, you're gonna be Thea. And she was like, my sister are lecturing me. She was like, bitch, you know how hard it's gonna be? And I was like, bitch, I know. And then it's because she has 2 kids, and she was only like 15 and 16 when she had them, or 16, 17, something like that. So she was like, you know how hard it's gonna be? And I was like, y'all, like, I know. And then, yeah, and then I went and I told his family. Well, he told his family, I didn't tell them. And then his mom was like happy, but like, you know, she's kind of like, oh, like, that's her baby. I told my grandma because a lot of people wanted to know. I told her by like telling her like, oh, I got something to tell you. And she, like, we had just dropped off my boyfriend, and I was like, oh, I got something to tell you. And she was like, what? And she starts laughing, and she's like, don't tell me you're pregnant. And I looked at her and I was like, I'm like, yeah. And she was like, you're lying. And she starts laughing, like dying laughing. And I'm like, no, for real, like, I am. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah. And then she just starts laughing, like, I'm not playing, like, I'm being serious. And she's just like, why are you laughing then? I'm like, because I don't know how to fucking act. Like, I just found out. What do you want me to do? And then, so she's just like, well, you're telling your grandpa. And I was like, just like happy or whatever. But yeah, that's the story of how I knew I was pregnant, the reactions I got, and everybody was pretty much happy, to be honest. Like, nobody was like really pissed about it. Like, my mom was happy, my grandma was happy, my boyfriend's mom was happy, his aunts or his sisters were happy. But yeah, that's the story of how I knew I was pregnant. This video, thumbs up if you guys like it. Sorry, like I said, the quality's bad, lighting's bad, everything's bad right now because your girl just trying to get this up for you guys. I think that's it.